Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking this morning at a book from Law Society Publishing in their legal handbooks series called Outsourcing, Law and Practice. It's this little book here, about 300 pages, in fact just a bit less, a very useful index at the back. You'll see that it's structured by chapter, and there are paragraph numberings at the sides to find things, and at the front there's a useful set of tables. And there are in fact a large number of people who've been involved in this publication. Obviously the general editor is a man called Marcus Turle, but there are a large number, 15 altogether, 15 contributors. So it's an important book, and it's useful not just from a general point of view in terms of the law and what we do with outsourcing, but I think a much more general interest for management as well when it comes to how we run our business and what sort of services we're outsourcing. There's a review on Flickr and the web, and we've given it the title To Outsource or Not to Outsource. Here's an answer. And what we say is this, that future legal services are undergoing a profound change at the present time for both barristers and solicitors, so outsourcing of some services has continued to thrive in spite of one of the worst recessions in living memory. So the book will appeal, in our view, to both parts of the profession, especially with the arrival of the expanded public access work for the independent bar. Now, those who supply any form of outsourcing will benefit as the government tackles the need to deliver public services whilst saving money. We've always had that requirement, but at this time, value for money is particularly important, especially with basic cuts taking place. Therefore, more and more organisations are going to look likely to become customers for some form of outsourcing services in the relentless drive to cut costs. Now, under Marcus Turle's editorship, Outsourcing Law and Practice, as part of the Legal Handbook series, examines the legal rules applying to outsourcing transactions across the whole sector and at how these rules operate in practice. He certainly succeeds with what he's setting out for, because we feel that this is an invaluable new book which is aimed primarily at professionals responsible for structuring, procuring or managing outsourcing relationships. But obviously it's got a wider appeal than that. It deals with all aspects of the subject, from tendering, contractual models and managing risk, which is of course extremely important for partnerships, to more specialised issues such as tax, data security, employment law and social and environmental considerations. There are in fact 16 chapters altogether. Each one has the name of the person who's basically written it, and it's got about 300 pages covering expert analysis, practical guidance, up-to-date coverage of what is required, with particular, I think, relevance to cloud computing, shared services agendas and so forth, and is really looking very much at what we have as a requirement for the second decade of the 21st century. And as with all these titles from Law Society Publishing, the Legal Handbooks series continues, in our view, to provide a library collection of expert specialist books just for us as practitioners. And this one is, of course, relevant to, if I can put it this way, the non-legal element within the business, because it is a business book as well as being a law book. And really, that's just what we want here for this type of thing, because we need to understand how the processes have evolved with outsourcing. The Law Society's remit, of course, is a wide one as a professional body, and it naturally focuses on both the practical aspects of our professional work and the requirements of the specialist legal areas themselves. And with outsourcing, I think the Law Society has given us some answers as to whether or not we should outsource services. And the answer today is yes, we should, and that's I think the way it's going to be going. So do read it, and I'm sure your practice manager and your staff will find it extremely helpful as a point of reference. So thank you to all concerned for producing it. Bye bye.